Hi everyone. Hi. Welcome back to my channel. Don't know if this is. Let me do this. Hi, welcome to the live stream. Welcome. I'm just checking in on you guys just to say hello and have a chat with one of my friends or colleagues that is going to tell us a story of, she's also from Uganda and is living in the US. So we're going to just share a story of the culture shock. What was the difference when she first came in? How did she overcome that? So if you're new here, my name is Liz and I share a lot of culture, travel, and DIY, a lot of content. And this is my co-host. You want to say something? Hey, you want to say something?
Yes. Mommy.
What do you want to say?
So nice.
Activator. What?
Look, it's a little TV.
Hi, Kevo. Thank you. Hi, AJ Scholars. Thank you for joining in. Thank you. My co-host today seems to be tired. What's going on, Luna? Thank you for joining me. I have a guest that should be joining us just to catch up and chat a little bit. So give me just 1 second. She'll be joining in soon. Luna, no, relax. Sit down and say hi to people. Do you want to sing for them?
Happy birthday to you.
You can sing.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, people. Happy birthday to you.
She's singing for anyone whose birthday is today. Her favorite song lately is singing the happy birthday song. Thank you, Mercy. Thank you for joining in too. We are just saying hi and, checking on to see how everyone is doing today. Let me see here. Let me put it closer. Okay. Okay, much better. So whoever is joining in, make sure you give the stream a thumbs up. Our guest is here. Let me put her on. Just 1 moment. Hi.
Hi. Hold on. I'm trying to I'm like outside working. Oh geez. Hold on.
Hi, Brenda.
Hi. Sorry. Give me just
Hi,
a few.
Tilda. How are you? Thank you.
Give me a second. Give me a second. Can you
Hi.
hear me?
Which means
Hi, can
increase
you
the
hear me?
volume. I think my volume is low or is off or something. Can you hear me, Brenda?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think it was my volume.
Okay, hold on just a second. I'm trying to put up this thing. Okay. I'm working from outside, so
Hey, nice. Banange, nice.
I hear nice. What's up?
Hi, how are you? I'm okay.
I'm
I'm
good.
here with my co-host Banange. Say hi.
Hi, Kakazi.
Luna, say hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Who is that? Do you know who it is?
Who's that?
Who's that? Then she's asking me, who is it?
Yeah. Who is it? Who
That's
is
Brenda.
it?
Her name is Brenda.
It's over here, people.
You see different. It's okay.
What did
How
she
are
say?
you?
She can talk. How old is she?
2.5.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
She's so vocal. She can talk. How is work?
Work is okay. Work is work,
Let me, I know. Let me share the link. Let me share the link somehow. So
Okay.
I just decided to just pop in and we just talk about, you had said you'd want to share your experience, your first.
No.
I said, let me do it today.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that is a story for another day.
Okay, so let me share the clip. Okay, so you have a few minutes.
Okay, yeah, I do. I have up to 4:15, so we're good.
Okay. You know,
Yeah.
a week off because my work was so tight, and I decided to take a week off and relax a bit. And
I'm glad they allowed you.
no, I had the paid time off.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
okay,
You
okay.
want my stuff? Okay, here you go. So
Put in my
so how is
face.
work? So today, what do you want to talk about?
Don't put in my
I don't know what did you invite me to talk about? You can
No,
ask.
I thought we'd just talk about like your first experience when you first came.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, what
yeah,
were
yeah.
the
We can talk
challenges
about.
and how did you eventually cope, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. We can talk about that for sure.
Hi Liam, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining in. And we're here with Brenda. We are the nice members in the group.
Hi, Liam.
I know. Uh-huh. So let me know. Actually, Liam, thank you for sharing that guy's page. The poetry guy. He's so
Oh
amazing.
yeah, that was that
Oh
that
my
that
god.
guy is
I followed
yeah,
him and I left comments, and I'm so amazed at what most of us can do, especially back home in Uganda. We don't know our potential until you
yeah.
come out and you do something. You're like, what? Did I just do that? That's not me. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, I'm not somehow I'm not even surprised by what the guy is doing. Like, I love it. I have there's a colleague of mine. Well, he was my classmate at campus. So, and he played rugby for the national club. Um, for the Uganda Cranes rugby, his name is Ronnie Misachi or Misachi or something. So, but when we were done with campus, he said, Brenda, you know what? I'm just going to join farming. We're like, what? I'm
I
like,
know.
dude. So he played for the Uganda Rugby Cranes, and then after that, I think he got injured a little bit, and then he decided to do farming. Now he's just doing farming, and he's making a lot of money, and
Yeah.
yeah, so it's
Really
great.
nice. So
Yeah.
tell us your story. What's your story? What are those you remember? And you're like, oh my goodness.
Well. So some of the moments. So let's see. So for some people who are joining, so I came to the United States after I had graduated campus. I went to Makerere University, and then after that, that was 2007. So I reallocated to the United States because I had met. A Mzungu. I had met a Mzungu in Uganda who had just graduated and moved to Uganda to do HIV and AIDS research. And so we met, and then we met when I was in senior six vacation. I was working in Kampala, in Mango actually, at my aunt's restaurant. And so we moved. After I graduated, so we decided to move. We did our introduction ceremony back home with my parents and family, and his parents came over, so it was a big party. And then I decided to reallocate in 2007 because he was also coming back to do his PhD in microbiology. So I moved here, and it's been a journey, so it's I've had the chance of going back home at least every other year, but I cannot, I had to tell you guys I was homesick for the most of the time. The first years were absolutely hard for me. I would call my mom like every single day. I'll call my brother every single day. I'm like, hey, my friends. So I was homesick for like I had been here like maybe after 6 months, it was all fun, and then homesickness started kicking in because I wasn't working that time. I hadn't even applied for a job. I was not sure what to do. I was looking into going back to school, so I tried doing like a few courses here and there online. Did some classes for free, so that I can be getting used to to the whole thing. Um, and then I volunteered. I volunteered with a church that was doing like multicultural work, and so just to get out of the house. So I decided to do that, and then the Obama campaigns came in, so I volunteered to look for votes for Obama. So I got to meet Obama. That was amazing. Like he met us, his volunteers for lunch. So we had lunch with him, and I was like, this is the best time ever. But it's had its moments. I've had my moments of, it's gotten better now, so it's been great. I'm used to the whole system. I still get homesick, but I talk to my people back home. If I can afford it, I plan a trip, I travel back home. But I've created so many friends now here, some who are Ugandans. Um, so like what helps here is having like some kind of sisterhood or brotherhood. When you get that sick, when you miss home, when you miss food from home, when you miss just talking to a person, anytime you want to speak Luganda or Runyankole, you just like call your friends out. You're like, hey, we're not speaking English now, so we're just gonna, go brrr in Luganda, and it kind of brings you back. It wakes you up again. It makes you alive again. Um, so I don't know. I have not had. I've had a few instances of racism here and there, where like my real first job, really, that was my second job. My second job, I did outside sales. So that was in 2011. After I gave birth in 2010, my first child was born in 2010, and then I wanted to go back to work. But my job at that time, it was a temporary job, so I couldn't go back to work with the hospital. Um, so I just decided to look for any other jobs, and I landed on this sales job, which was pretty much they called me, they interviewed me, and they offered me a job right away. I was like, ah. My husband was like, that's a red flag. That's a red flag too. Red flag three. How can they be, so excited to have you? So, I went into the office to meet with my bosses, and they're like, yes, this is great, it pays well. And I was super excited. I'm like, wow, like I'll be making about $50,000 like in a year. I'm like, that's amazing. But I didn't know what exactly I was supposed to be doing. And then the next day, I went dressed up in a suit. Like it was business casual. So, but their business casual was like to dress up in suits, really. You go in high heels, you could not wear sneakers or jeans or anything. So it was like really dressing up like professionally, but business casual. And so I went to work the second day, and then one of my supervisors is like, you're coming with me to the field. I'm like, to the field? What are we doing in the field? So we walked, and then I see her knocking at doors. So, and then like random doors, and somebody opens the door like, "Hi, I'm from Verizon." So I was doing work for Verizon. It's one of the big telecom companies in the United States, and but they also do like residential internet. So I was doing the residential internet packages and TV. So I was like, oh my gosh. So then we got rejected. Like, I don't have time. We moved on to another house. I'm like, okay, so I'm like waiting to see what actually this job is about the next at the end of the day. So we didn't sell anything. And then we went to work. We went back to the office like at 7. And I was like, so Rose, what exactly is this what I'll be doing? So she's like, well, Brenda, no, so they tried to sugarcoat the whole thing, and but I didn't quit. So I was like, you know what, I can't quit because one, I want to prove to my husband that that I can do this, because he was like, "You're never gonna do this." I was like, "I'm just gonna do it just so that he knows that I can do this." Um, so the next, like a week after that, so she trained me, and a week after that, I was just on my own. So I'd go ring the doorbells. They'd give you like a territory of like which houses and their names and who you have to talk to, what they have in the house for like the internet. Um, so you would go. But I have to tell you, it was like downtown in the city where it was like crackheads. um for those who don't know, crackheads, this is like a population of like people who are like high, like at 10 a.m. they're high on something. So you ring the doorbell and they're like, "What the heck are you doing on my front yard?" So I was like, "I'm sorry, I'm just here from so and so, whatever." And then you get cussed out. And yeah, that was like one of the most challenging jobs ever. You could not pay me to do it now. So, but I didn't quit. I stayed there for a while. So what helped me was just making friends, just selling your own personality. I would talk to people. The first thing they'll say, "Where are you from? You have an accent." I'm like, "Yes, I'm not from here. I'm from Uganda." "Oh, you're from Nigeria?" "No, I'm from Uganda." And but it would take forever for people to actually catch up. And then, of course, they'll ask you about Idi Amin. I'm like, "I don't know who that guy was. I was not born yet, but sure, I've read about him. I've watched him in your movies." So, so it's a long story, Liz. I can't tell you the whole story. Would spend a whole night here. Liz, are you there?
Let me unmute myself, because of Luna is watching TV and she also is wants to be the co-host, so it's stuff going on. But that's quite interesting because every now and again I get knocked
Yeah,
at the door for people that are doing, doing.
yeah,
And to me, it's a way of talking to someone else. So I don't look at it as though I'm going to buy the service because most
yeah,
you don't want the service anyway. But
yeah,
just like talking to them and asking them how their day was. And I remember, I think my husband finds it weird because most of the time when they knock, he's like, "That's a salesperson. Like, I'm not going there." I'm like, "Well, I'm going."
yeah. Like I'm
I
going.
just,
Yeah,
I just want them to feel appreciated and
yeah,
knock on the
yeah,
door and you're like, "No, I'm not available. I'm so busy. Sorry, bye." And then you bang the door. So I just,
yeah.
"Hi, well, what are you doing?" "Oh, I'm renovating roofs and stuff like that." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not ready today, but thank you for coming by," and make them feel nice and then they go. So I know that can be really hard.
Yeah. It honestly taught me so much. I think I grew up, like I became so mature. I changed my way of how I look at things, how I look at people. It got me, like, honestly, I don't know. It was all kinds of people that I met in the two jobs that I did, in the 2 years that I did that job. You'd find people who were so happy. You'd find people who are so sad with
Oh,
themselves.
mad at life.
Yes. And how would you still talk to them? So it was, I honestly loved it. I think it kicked off my leadership skill to the highest level, my tolerance for
Yeah,
people.
that it teaches you to be really patient and
Yes,
deal
yes,
with
yes,
people. And when you
yeah,
talk about people saying, "Oh, you have an accent," I get that
yeah,
a lot. And um, sometimes it's like so annoying. I'm like, I like, okay, what's the point? Like, you can understand me, but then it's like I don't know. Like, even when I go on walks, people will
yeah,
just to you, and then after they're like, "Well, you have an accent. Like, where are you from?" Of course, that's nice. It's like they're trying to know you, but
yeah,
I don't know. So, like, even yesterday, I got people. When I walk with my daughter, she's so friendly. She always wants
yeah,
to say hi to the whole village. So we met this group of people. They had kids, and then she wants to play with them. Of course, I said no because of COVID. But then
Yeah.
and started talking to them. So people were passing by and we were standing. So we chatted. And so the two people were like, oh, so where are you from? Like with your accent. So I said, I'm from Uganda. Have you been to Uganda? And they're like, no, we just know that's an African accent because we can know. So I'm like, nothing like an African accent. It's
Yeah, yeah.
Nigeria, you're from Uganda, you're from Kenya, you're from Tanzania. It's like so many different countries. And even in Uganda, we have different accents. If you're from Gulu, if you're from the different parts of Uganda, we have different tribes, so we have different accents actually. So it's
Right.
generalized the whole of Africa to this one country. And
Yeah.
I'm like, Africa is a continent. It's not even a country, but it's okay. As long as they're not being mean to you, it's
Yeah. 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 It's
nice and you go. So I can imagine going to doors and people are like, what's your name? And first
yeah.
you pronounce your name in some way, then they're like, oh, that's a beautiful name. That's a beautiful accent. Well, bye. Well,
Yeah.
that will see
Yeah.
you again.
Yeah. It was interesting.
Before
Huh?
I left, that was my first job after graduation. I was doing, we were doing sales marketing.
Oh my gosh. In
Unilever,
Uganda?
yes, Unilever. It wasn't bad, by the way, because
Okay.
nobody's going to come at you for your accent or from the way
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
or somebody's not going to pretend they don't understand you. That doesn't. So to me, the hardest part was getting the sales down because people wouldn't buy. And would go to a supermarket. Luna, stop pulling my ear, please. You'd like put your things at this opening of the supermarket, like you display your,
Yeah.
and then people, as they are walking into the supermarket, you let them know, like, Munanga, we are doing this, we're doing, if you buy 3 of these, we shall give you a free t-shirt. If you buy 3 of the soap, we shall give you stuff like that. And
Yeah.
there you get maybe 2 people that will buy in because of the t-shirts, and they would give
Yeah.
you an ultimatum. You have to make like 10 sales a day. So I
Oh wow.
guess
Okay.
it was to convince people to buy. But other
Mm-hmm.
my job. I love talking to people because I love talking. I love talking,
Yeah.
making friends here and there. And to me, it was
Yeah.
an experience.
Yeah, it is. It honestly, I mean, like I look at people, like Mark Cuban, who is the owner of the Mavericks. That's a basketball team, club, in the U.S. But that guy sold trash bags door to door, and now he's among the billionaires in the country. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I look at like his story. Like I used to read like all those guys. I think I was just meant to be a salesperson my whole life. I'm still doing sales and marketing right now. So but the thing with like accents, so like with as years go on, I mean, you also get to understand and learn that most people do not know much about outside the United States. They don't
That's
know
right.
about they don't know about other countries. But then
Yeah.
you so, like, even within their own country, they don't know much about other states. So, people don't travel. Like, all
Yeah.
states in the US have accents.
They do.
So, they do. So, like, people who are from the East Coast have a different accent. People who, like, we can tell, like, I can tell, like, oh, this person is from Louisiana. I can tell from you, like, from Arizona, from Colorado. I can tell, like,
Yeah.
when I go walking, I'm like, oh yeah, you sound like you're from New York. Like New York people have their own accent, like the way they speak is like so fast, and so,
I
and then
don't know.
you have like Pennsylvania, people from Philadelphia, people from LA, like they have all kinds of different accents and how they walk, how they talk, how like like it's different. So,
Yeah. So,
but
what would you say you have learned over time living in the diaspora for all these years? And then, of course, back and forth, you've traveled here and there, you've gone back home,
yeah.
back.
Hmm.
What are the few things that you have learned over time in life, like living in a different country? I mean, you grow up in a different,
Yeah.
and eventually you transition. So,
Yeah.
what are those few things that you have learned along the way that you could share with us?
Yeah. One of the main things is I learned how to be open-minded. I became very open-minded and about different things, about like other people. Like I am like I'm like a good listener, so I listen to people and I understand them, and this is a thing I actually learned here. One of the things that I learned from like doing like a sales job, um, I learned that you have to listen more than talk. So I always like when I'm talking to my friends and my friends are like talking, like so many people like call me my friends, like Brenda, oh my gosh, this and this and this. So I like listen, and they're like, "Are you there?" I'm like, yes, I'm listening. Are you done? So, and I also learned to be patient. I kind of got to think that, okay, I was in like 5 years here, like traveling back and being here. I found myself stuck in a position where like I'm not sure where I belong at this point. Like when I go to Uganda, I'm like things are too slow for me. Um, and then I'm like, really? Why did I have to stand in line? I'm going to an ATM bank and I'm standing for like 30 minutes to withdraw my money. So, and then I would be like getting so impatient. So, but I learned how to be patient. I'm like, okay, so now I adjust so quickly with a person, with a situation, with a country, with a place. So if you put me in, like if I go back home, i don't I don't expect people to do things my way. So I'm patient with them doing things their way, how they're used to doing things, how, like, whatever process they take. So I am patient that way. And then when I'm here, I'm like, okay, so this is going so fast for me. What do I do? Then I need to go to its pace. So, and then some other thing that I learned how to appreciate friendship. Um, like honestly, being abroad, um, you need friends. You need people. You need to make friends. So I'm open to whoever. Like my husband says, I can make friends with a butterfly. Like if I'm outside and the bird is like moving around, and he's like, Brenda, you didn't say hi to the bird. So I find that funny, but that's who I am. Like I make friends with whoever. Um, so it keeps me very happy. It keeps me not put in a cocoon where I don't have somebody to talk to. Like if I'm like feeling down or a little sad or a little lonely, these things happen all the time, especially when you're away from family, away from friends. But I know that I can just grab my phone and call some friends in the neighborhood, like my neighbors. I'll be like, hey, like 3 houses down, I have some friends there. I'm like, hey, do you want to come over? I have some cheese, I have some wine. Do you want to come over for a glass of wine? If not, I'm bringing a glass of wine to your house. I'm bringing a bottle of wine. So, and that way, like I opened up myself to people, and it's been the other way too. Like people have welcomed me into their lives. Um, it doesn't hurt to make friends. So I don't put a guard on myself. Be like, oh my gosh, I don't trust people, I don't do this. No, like like I can read people right away. I'm like, this is going to be a good friend for me, or he's not going to be a good friend for me. But we need friends to survive in like abroad countries. You need friends. Some things you can't just talk to your husband about them. um, you just need somebody else. You need somebody maybe who will understand you from a different perspective. Um, so you just have to like talk to somebody. You have to make friends. So that's why I'm like, oh hey friend. Yeah, and I've learned to appreciate like groups. Like being here a few years now, we've started like a group of like ladies in the diaspora. So like I have some friends and some have become, we've created like a sisterhood group. where at least every year we meet, just us, just the ladies, just the girls. So, and we go on vacation, like we'll go to Vegas or we go to New York or we go to Connecticut. So, but it's just our time. I have to create my time for me, So, and my husband does not do anything. He's like, yeah, it's time for you girls, go. So we plan, like every year we plan, what are we doing today, girls? Or maybe we start saving and then we travel to Miami. And it's just like 3 days, 3 nights or 2 nights of just like sitting and chatting and catching up and drinking some wine, drinking some tea, playing some music, laughing, and then you regroup. So yeah, friendship, 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 friendship. If you're out there, make friends.
Someone is asking which state you live in.
Oh, I live in Pennsylvania.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, the fact that you have friends to keep you alive, to keep that Ugandan
Yeah.
that
Yeah. And
Ugandan
these are
culture.
friends. These are friends. Yeah. Like I just met these friends online. I didn't grow up with them. I moved here not knowing them. These are like Facebook friends that for the past 7 years now have just become like my family. But we started from scratch. We started from Facebook,
Well, it,
introducing ourselves, and now it's like a sisterhood, so we all we live in different states, but we get together at least every year and you know celebrate our birthdays and all the good things.
Luna is here making a big deal. She wants a banana. She's crying that I peeled it badly.
Oh my gosh, she's like a monkey. Monkeys eat bananas in a specific way, the way they peel them. It's funny. She was actually crying. Poor thing.
Yeah, so
So
it's yeah, it's nice that you're able to work from home and sit outside. The sit
yeah,
I really love. Daniel,
it's warm
you
is today. It's
love.
like, yeah, it's like 60 something, so at least I can sit outside.
You want the banana? It's here. See, the friend is there. Did you sing for her?
Hi, Luna.
Hmm? What is it? The banana is.
Yeah. So are you teaching your kids Runyankole?
Yeah.
Are you going to teach her some things or some Uganda?
You have another question, Brenda.
Which one?
The screen. Let me see.
Yeah.
Give Luna a snack, and then we can continue. But
Okay.
there's a question you can go ahead and answer.
She's willing to retire in Uganda to spend time with her. Oh yeah, yeah. That's a good question. Honestly, I love Uganda. Uganda is beautiful. The thing is, you know, what I find, like most of my friends here, like actually I have a friend who just moved back home. She retired. She was turning 70 last week. So, but she had been here for some good years and she decided to retire and move back home. And so last week or 2 weeks ago, when I was like, saying bye to her, I was asking her how she feels about moving back and all that stuff. What was her worry? She mentioned that she was excited to go back home cause so that she can eventually see her friends, her old friends face to face. But she was worried about things like healthcare, like being able to get the best doctors that she could get. I mean, like the US, honestly, yes, healthcare is expensive, but I would tell you, yes, you can get like the best doctors there is, and right away you can run to the ER. anytime. I mean, yes, it costs money, but there's even having money back home and you cannot get a doctor or you cannot get the best treatment there is. So those are like the simple worries, like how is your health, first of all? How easily are you going to be able to get treatment if you fall sick or if you have like any underlying issues? So those are like some of the things that would worry me about moving back home. Because I had my mom in Uganda in 2000. She passed away in 2010, but in 2009 I went back home to see her, to visit. I think it was my brother's wedding, and I found her not looking well. So I was like, Mom, I think we need to see a doctor. So, and we had, so she lived in Mbarara, but we had to travel to Kampala, which is a big city with most doctors available, and it's expensive, but yes, the doctors there. So I traveled with her to Kampala so she could get treatment, and we saw different doctors. We had to do a whole bunch of tests. Some were coming back negative, so we'll try another doctor, because I could see my mom was not the normal her, because she's always like a lively person. Like she eats healthy, she did exercises, and but she had cancer, and for the longest time she had been diagnosed for ulcers. So, but come to think of it, it wasn't even ulcer. It was a tumor that was developing the whole time. So by the time we found out, like I took her to Malago and took her to Nakasero. So a doctor from Nakasero actually said, well, Brenda, I'm so sorry. After they did a whole bunch of tests and they saw the tumor, so they did endoscopy and all that stuff. So she got surgery so she could get the tumor out. And then they had to test for cancer on that tumor. And when the results came back after a few days, because they sent the sample to the US and then sent it back, um, and then she had stage 4 cancer at that point. So, and the doctor was like, Brenda, she's not going to survive for too long. I'm so sorry. We discovered this when it was too late. So it's like wrong diagnosis of things, and doctors, not telling you the real truth. And so those are the things that worry me, because I was like, if my mom maybe was here, um, they would have discovered that a long time ago. Like here we do every year checkups, and it's like real good checkup. So, but other than that, if you have your stable income to live on in Uganda, I mean, like here, you probably been saving for retirement, I hope, um, or you at least have some. I hope you have like some investments back home. So as long as you have like your nice house and you have like healthcare, availability of healthcare that you think you'll be able to get. Um, my prayer is to retire in Uganda, and my husband too, and we just want to stay there where it's nice and warm. I'm not a big fan of um and not a big fan of the cold weather. So it would be nice to be back home when I'm older, maybe after my kids have gone back, have graduated school, because that's the other thing. Like you kids here can attend really nice schools for free, like high school, elementary school. So as long as you live in a good neighborhood where, of course, you pay taxes, but the kids go to A+ grade school. So that's like one thing that I wouldn't move back home now, but maybe later when my kids have officially graduated. Uh, where is Philadelphia called the city of brotherly love? You know what? That's a funny one. So brotherly love, I actually it has like different people will tell you different meanings to why it's called that, but it's really a friendly city, and but some people will say, hey, it's supported, like we'll associate it to like um supporting gay people, or so it depends on like who you ask. but otherwise um, it's because it's because like it's a very friendly town. It's like it has different kinds of people, different mixed, black and white. It's mostly black dominant in the city, in Philadelphia itself. So maybe that's where they get the brotherly love. But I love Philly. I love it. So you can read more about it. I don't want to mislead you here, but you can read about it. Brenda, it's good to hear your story. Do you invest in land purchases or apartments back home? If yes, how do you do that while you are here? All right, good question. Who is it? Oscar. Hey, Daniel. Yeah, so that question, um, personally, I've tried to do that a few years ago. I tried to invest in land. Yes. All right. I'll come back to your question. I'll come back to your yes comment. Yes. I think scholars. Yes. So investing in land back home. So in land, yes. Honestly, it's hard. I've found this hard in a way that you have to find people that you really, really trust back home, and even your family might not be the best people to trust. I've read so many stories I've had from my friends who've been screwed up by family and friends that they've trusted with money. So, some have actually just gone ahead to just buy a finished house, because somebody will travel back home and just buy a house, get its title, and be done with it. So kind of go past the whole process of buying land, getting the title, and then getting builders and getting somebody to be on the site to supervise and all that stuff. So personally, yes, I tried to buy land, um, let me see, like 4 years ago, and I sent money home. It was never bought. So, um, and then of course it was a family member, and you cannot put them in trouble or anything. So I let that project go. So what I do is, um, as long as I have a nice house at home at my mom's house, my mom's village, when I go home, I have a comfortable place where I can sleep and entertain my friends. I've done renovations. Actually, my goal is to build another nicer house, on that land, my mom's land, because it's just me and my brother, and then some other kids, my brother's kids that we helped raise, me and my brother. Um, one of my siblings that passed away, so we look after those kids. So now they're grown, they graduated, they've all graduated, and they're having their own families now. But we help them, take care of them, pay them school fees and all that stuff. So my goal is to just build like a house there, like a house of like maybe 3 bedrooms, where I know if I go with my family, we can sleep there comfortably. I mean, we're fine even just hiring tents and sleeping outside. It would be a good adventure for the kids as well. But that's my goal. But I'm not about investing in land. It's tricky, it's tiresome, the process is long. You don't know, it's headache, honestly. So but I know friends who have done that. They have bought land. It's all about finding somebody that you can really, really trust. And if you can, when you travel, see the land yourself, see the person that you're buying it from, have legit paperwork done while you're there before you leave, and then have all the legit stuff and do whatever you want to do with land. But yes, friends have invested in land, have built properties. A friend of mine has condos in Tinda, and she's doing well. It's about maybe 15 rooms. So, but she has her brother, who, what is it, supervises the project for her. So it's all about finding somebody that you trust and, um, sacrifices their time. Okay. Um, I would take them to jail. I'm not joking about the hard-earned money. I know. It takes your personality to do that. To me, yeah, I found it. I honestly just created peace with it and moved on and decided to call it a dead project at that point. Did you go back to school when you traveled to the States? If yes, no. So I did. Yeah. What was the other? There was another comment that you put up. Scholars. If you're a citizen, yes. So if you are a U.S. citizen, and then you move back, yes, of course, you have like if you've retired, so you can keep getting yeah, I think if you decide to retire back home in Uganda, then you get any health complication. Yes, 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 you can definitely do that. And even then you can have your insurance system that you have here, some of them work back home, so it can be covered. And you also can keep getting your retirement social security, yes, once you retire. So if you've been getting social security, you keep getting your money on your account, so you kind of like have upkeep money to, to take you through, as long as the social security still is available. In who knows number of years, it might change. But yes, you do get that. You can get treatment, or you can receive, you can travel back anytime. If you have money, your family has money, you can travel back to the US and get the treatment. Yes, yes, I agree. Okay, what was the other one? Did you go back to school in the States? Yeah, yes. So when I came, I just did like a few courses online because I didn't want to like get loans. I'm not a big believer in school loans. Most people here will go for like nursing and all that stuff. I'm not a big. I don't like doing that part of things. My husband does that, so I am scared of needles. I'm scared of hospitals. That's not a department for me. So I didn't want to get loans to go back to school to do that, which is a common thing most Ugandans do, and they love it. They end up getting jobs right away. So I wanted to stay in marketing and sales, because that's where my personality is. I just love interacting with people. Like now, I do software marketing for a software company. Um, so travel to different states and do presentations and things like that, do online presentations. But I did a few courses, like I did international marketing, which was like a 6 month course. I can send you guys like the different sites that you can enroll to do those free courses. You don't get a diploma or anything. Some can send you a certificate, so that you can get like cheaper, shorter courses that you can do. So but I didn't go to get like a diploma, like an extra maybe master's. No, I still just have my Ugandan bachelor's degree in tourism and hospitality. That's what I earned from Makerere University. And I just do like, I did like a nutrition, science and nutrition course for like 6 months again. So whenever I get some free time, I just do like little courses, just so that I can keep learning and increasing on my knowledge online for free though. So you can even do Harvard University. They have free courses there. They usually have lots of IT courses where you can pay $1,000 for a course for 12 months. And that you get a certificate. So all these things that could add on my resume. So that's what I do. Mhm. Yes, I will share the sites. I'll send them to Liz, or I'll go down on her chart and share the sites. Yes, one is I think it's Coursera, so like a course, and then Ra, like with an A at the end. So you can look there. I did the other one that I did was from Harvard University online. Um, that was the international marketing, so I did that from Harvard School. So but they probably won't add much, but hey, I just put them on my resume. I just put them on my LinkedIn bio, so at least it keeps you in it keeps you updated on stuff. I hope that's helpful.
Yeah.
Please. Okay. I feel
Sorry.
like I've been talking and talking.
No, it's okay. I'm glad people are enjoying and asking you questions. That I like when it's interactive.
All right. What are the challenges you came across after relocating? Oh, it's cool. Challenges. Well, there's a whole post on my YouTube about those challenges. You
Oh,
guys should
actually,
visit my.
let
Yeah.
me post your channel. How did I forget? Let me post your channel on the chat so that a few of these people can join you
Uh,
for
yay, yay.
wow.
Yeah. So yeah, a few challenges. One was missing my family. So loneliness kicks in. And then kind of like harder to get a job right away. So that was one of the other challenges, whereby your degree does not mean too much here. Your Makere or Mukono or your Ugandan degree does not really do much here for you. But you can still get jobs. But when like after you finish campus back home, you're like, hey, I'm here. I'm a fresh graduate. So you start knocking at offices and you're like, I have my degree. It's right here. So most times here, that was like challenging. They're like, what school is that again? Because you're in line, you're doing interviews with all these other kids who've gone to school here. And so if you have some experience that helps in like what you're trying to apply for, that could be helpful. So I found that challenging. And then also a part of me felt like after I moved, I felt like I had given up my own identity. I think this is just a personal thing. It might not work. It might not be how most people feel. But it's actually one of the reasons that took me so long to finally get my U.S. citizenship. So I lived with my green card. I moved here in 2017, and I got my green card in 2018. Um, no, 2000. I moved here in 2007. So and then I got my green card in 2008. Because you get here, you have because I came under my fiance visa because we had been engaged with my boyfriend then. Then moved, and then they give you what is it? How many weeks? How many days to get married?
You they give you 90 days.
Yes, 90 days. Yes. So they give you 90 days to get married once you get here. So I moved here, and my husband's sister is a lawyer, so we just went to her company and she married us. One of her colleagues just married us, so we can get the paperwork going. So and then after I filed the marriage certificate back in, it took about maybe 3 weeks, and then they sent me my work authorization, my social security, and then they sent me my green card. So it was really quick, and that was like really impressive. So I lived with that for until this year. So, and like once you've lived here with the green card, after 3 years, you can actually apply for citizenship. But a part of me, I don't know, for the longest time, I wasn't sure. I didn't want to give up my Ugandan citizenship because they told me Uganda could not allow dual citizenship. And I'm like, okay, there's one thing. I moved, yes. Now, okay, so now I need to also give up my whole me. Like, I need to give up my country for this. So I was weighing things down, and until like this year it finally clicked. I was like, you know what, I don't want to go back to renew my green card at this point. I think I could finally call this place my home. I have my kids here. I've grown to make friends here, great friends, who are Americans, who are white, who are black, but they consider me as their family. So it took time for me to actually feel at home here. So that was a big challenge for me because one, there's a time I applied for my mom's visa to come visit me here to come for my wedding in 2009. and they denied her a visa. That was it for me. I was super upset. So my mom did not get a visa to come to attend my wedding. My uncles came, my aunties came, but my mom for some reason couldn't get the visa. And so I kind of held a grudge on that. So and yeah, so it kind of upset me so much. She couldn't be here for my wedding. And then like a year after that, she passed on. And I was like, I wish maybe if they had given her the opportunity to come, I could have taken her to the hospital and I could have found out all these things. So I feel like they killed a part of me somehow. Um, but I finally, decided, and with Uganda too, like traveling back home at the airport. The last time I was in Uganda last year, in December, when I was flying back to the US, I missed my flight because one of the people at the airports, like for some reason, could not get allow me to get onto the plane. He wanted my marriage certificate. He wanted a whole bunch of things. I was like, really? I've been coming to Uganda on the same paper, like same green card, same all my documents for the last how many years. So, but then he like took his time. He was very arrogant. I ended up missing my flight. So I was like, I didn't want to ever to deal with them again at Entebbe Airport. So I decided to file for my citizenship when I got back here, and I got my citizenship. I, I think last month or 2 months ago. So yeah, so it could be challenging, but overall, life moves on. Like there's good things and bad things here and there. Oh my gosh, the food abroad and all that. Um, so my fast plane experience, it was okay. It wasn't that bad. I think I was very anxious. I was very anxious of like I didn't know what to expect. It was my first time, of course, and I remember that was in yeah, when was that? Was my first year at campus. Um, so I don't remember. So, anyways, years ago. So I came to visit my boyfriend's family, and I was like, I remember taking off, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna get sick. And then after we were up, I was like, is that it? Are we done? So, and then and then that was it. And then the other experience was landing. Of course, like you go like way down. So if you're like afraid of heights, it kind of like makes your stomach jump and all that stuff. And then the food abroad, the food was okay. It wasn't actually that challenging because, I had met my husband in Uganda, and so we used to go out to eat different foods a lot. So I was used to like we would go to like Kanakazana, we would go to like Nawab, Indian places, Ethiopian places. Um, so I was okay. Like when I got here, the things that I can still not like to eat, like mac and cheese, I don't like it. That's like a major American food that I don't like myself. I will not eat it. But there are other foods you can eat, like rice, like beans. You can find most of the foods. Of course, you'll miss like the Ugandan local foods, but um, at some point you get used to it. Here and there you'd find some sweet potatoes, you'd find some pumpkin when they're in season, avocado, and I'm not a big meat person, so that's I mean there's still like where I live is like in the farmland, so we have like a farm area, so I could walk to a farm and get milk. uh, People have cows there, so I could go there, get milk. I could get chicken. I could get like live chicken. I could get like fresh eggs and so all that stuff. Vegetables, like real fresh vegetables, because it's like outside in the suburbs. So the food was not bad. I want to join the United States Air Force and then serve for 20 years and retire back to my roots. east or west home is best. To me, I think retiring home is what I want. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if that's what you want, you can still achieve it. I don't know about the Air Force. I have a friend who has a son in the Air Force. Um, but I'm sure you can look up all the information. One, you need to first be a U.S. citizen to be able to be allowed to work in the Air Force. So you'd have to live here and then be a citizen, and then you can apply for that, or you can apply and then maybe they might help you to get your citizenship. um but I agree. I agree. I think when I'm like, when my kids are done with college and they've moved on with their lives, they have their own girlfriends, I have no problem. I think I'll just retire back home, live on a farm, wake up, go see cows, go see friends, like that's like that's my goal. And then come to the States for visiting and go back, you know. Yeah, we'll see. So Oscar, you can do it. I'll pray for you. The Ugandan village in me. Thank you. Now we've started with the accents. Don't tell me I have an accent. Please, you see your friends are saying I have an accent. Okay, guys, are we done, Liz? Are you there?
I'm here. I'm just seeing if there are any other questions.
Oh, okay.
I think there's not much.
Okay.
Let me put Luna down. I'll be back. Barange, keep telling the story. Just 1 minute.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Let me put her down.
Oh, oh, guys. Let me see if I can. If I can show you guys, I can. So here's like my backyard. Um, see like my neighbors. You can see the neighbors back there. Um, yeah. Then if I go this other side, so those are my other neighbors. Those are like the backyard. So the housing here is more like, at least each person has about I would say like an acre maybe. Um, not like an acre, but maybe half an acre of land, where you have houses, you have your own backyard, um, and then you could see your neighbors somehow. Yeah, if they're outside, like if all of them are like, if some of your neighbors are outside, you can still see, like, so that's like their backyards as well. Um, so say like that. Everybody has like their own fences. So yeah, so that's like my village. That's the village I live in. Okay, guys. I don't know what else I can show you. But otherwise, you guys can. I think to me, uh, people have different dreams, and it depends on what you want in life, and go for it. And who knows? So don't be scared to try out different things. Um, if you're planning on coming to the States, one, I hope you have some friends that at least you can, like when you get here, you can talk to. Maybe they can house you for a little bit, maybe a few months as you get yourself on your feet. You get a job, because don't expect to get here and get a job right away. It's hard unless everything is lined up for you. The people who are like that, who are lucky. So, but otherwise, everything needs some patience, um, especially if you don't have friends, if you don't have family here, if you don't have people that you already know that could connect you with their jobs or their workplaces. But otherwise, life is life, wherever you are, so you don't fail to try your luck. I think we're waiting for Liz. There she is.
Someone likes your background where you work. The Ugandan village.
He said, I love your accent. I love living country, farmland areas. Thanks for your prayers. You're welcome.
And
And
Daniel has another question. Are you going back to work?
soon, I have to actually, I'm done. I have to take I have to take Aiden to soccer like in half an hour.
Okay.
It never ends. What's the question? Talk more about what part of Philadelphia do you live in? Talk more about jobs, housing market. I have been thinking about moving to Philadelphia. All right, so Oscar, where do you live right now?
I think he's in, I forget, Seattle, Washington.
Oh,
So,
Seattle, Washington. Oh,
but
cool.
I'm not
Uh,
sure. He will respond.
Okay, cool. Philadelphia is great. One of the things actually it has a good population of Ugandans there. Most of them are in Delaware, so there's like a Ugandan community, but in Delaware, some in Philadelphia or just outside Philadelphia. So if you're a big Ugandan get-together person, you'll love it. Um, and then it's also depending on what job you're looking for. But Philadelphia is a big city, yes. So it could be easy to get jobs depending on what job you're looking for. And housing, housing, if you're planning to live in the city, like when we first moved from Uganda and moved to Philadelphia, we lived downtown Philadelphia. So we lived like right in the city because my husband could walk to school. He went to UPenn school. So if you guys know UPenn, um, so and then I also like when I started working, one of my first jobs was working at the university. So and I was so we could walk, we could commute, work home on foot. So we didn't own a car. So everything was walk, catch a bus, catch a train, get around. Because having a car in the city was expensive. We didn't have where to park it. So you'd end up paying like $60 a night for parking. So we did not have cars until really we moved like a few years ago. We moved to the suburbs. Um, and actually, after we had kids, so that's when we're like, okay, we kind of need a car. So we moved out of the city to the suburbs, and then but yeah, for the jobs, I think you would get the housing market right now. It's expensive. I mean, everybody's selling, so this is like a market for people. Like where I live right now, I'm outside Philadelphia, so I'm about an hour away, like 45 to an hour away from Philly. And my neighboring houses that I just showed you, like they're all like now going for like 800,000. So, but the big home, so you might not need a big home. Like where we lived in the city, I think our rent was about 2,000 a month, and it was just a two bedrooms. But also that was like maybe like one of the nicest apartments in the city. So if you get out of the city, not going into the ghetto, you could still get like maybe apartments of like duplexes, apartments of like $1,000 a month a rent, like two bedrooms or three bedrooms, $1,000 a month. But so it depends on like where you're comfortable living, um, and how far is it from work, vice versa. Yes, I am a people person. I don't plan on living in the city or to live in the areas like the ones you're living in. Saving up. Yes. So yeah, absolutely. Like I love where we are now. It's big. It's nice for kids. If you have a family, we have like like we have parks that boys can just ride bikes there, and the whole neighborhood is so friendly. It's small. Um, so like places like that now, maybe now might not be the best time to buy because everything has been hiked because of COVID. Like all the houses, like every house that shows up on the market like today in my neighborhood is gone the next day. And it's selling almost for like double the price. So they're going for like 800,000, 900,000. So, but as you go out again, the thing with America is all about school systems, school districts. So, like it depends on like what you want for your kids. So like here, the school district is is 5 stars, so it's you kind of pay more taxes, and of course your housing will be a little more. But my kids are going to like good elementary schools, like good. They'll go to very good high schools. Um, so if you look up like Bucks County, like Doylestown, Bucks County, you'll see like it's among like the schools in Bucks County are like number 10 in the country. So and yeah, so it depends on like where, but you can look, it depends on your budget. You can get homes of like 300,000, 400,000, 500 going up. Yeah. So yeah, and they can have the same buckets. It's just like it might be in a different school district or different high school, but overall, if it's still like in the same county, yes, the schools will still be like a little better.
Nice. AJ now is asking me if I'm thinking of going back to school. Not really,
Yeah.
not at all. But you cannot say never.
Mm-mm.
I never say never. Well, one thing that I've not, I feel like I could do better just doing business, like being an entrepreneur, because
Mm.
I am not planning to overly be employed all my life, especially with how COVID happened. I started looking at life in a different way,
Yeah.
if so many people were laid off and you have nothing saved up and you're struggling to even pay rent or pay for bills here and there, so I feel
Yeah.
personal employment or self-employment eventually is the way to go. So I think I'm looking at doing something, just be doing some sort of business thing. I know, Brenda, you're almost leaving. So I've
I
also,
know, yeah. And I just saw my son looking at me like I'm ready to go. I think your soccer practice is at 5:30 to 6:30. Is that 5? All right. All right, Liz, I gotta run.
okay.
My life.
Thank you. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah. Oh, who was that? Hey, Brendan, Liz, how are you? I'm enjoying you. Oh, Bambi, Kimberly. You guys, I gotta run. Thanks for joining us, Liz. Thanks for hosting me. Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. And I
Yeah.
posted the channel link so people can check you out. You have amazing
Yay! Thank you,
content.
guys.
People check
Thank
you out.
you.
Uh,
Thank you. Thank you.
okay, so I think someone was trying to join and say hi to you. It sucks that you're leaving. I think it's
Who is it?
AJ Scholars.
Eh.
I think he was trying to join and say hi, but it's okay. He he
Okay.
he will see you. So yeah, so you could go take care of your business. Thank you so much for joining me on this chat. It's
Kale.
a random chat, and thank you for coming, short notice. And say,
Kale Bambi.
Kale, just
Thank you.
go and have
Bye
fun.
bye. You
Okay,
too.
bye, dear. Okay, so I think AJ, you were trying to join. Try and join again. I don't know what happened. I tried to add you on the screen, and bloop, you just disappeared. Um, hi, Ugandan village, right? Thank you for joining in, Kimberly. Thank you. My inquiry is that let me see. Let me put it up here. Is that I have a siblings and seriously need the financial sponsors for them. Kindly, any help? Kimberly. First of all, where you're watching from and um financial sponsor, are they in school? Like what's going on? We of course I am just asking just for anyone that is watching and is willing to sponsor, that would be nice. So AJ scholars, go ahead and try to join again. I think you tried to join and then you dropped off. I don't know if it was the internet connection or something. Hmm. Ugandan village wife. Yeah, I'm thinking that way because if eventually, if most people are self-employed, it is the way to go. With the way things are, where you're working, but you're not sure if you'll have your job tomorrow. If you wake up and you're terminated. Sometimes it's so hard. So let me see. see. I tried to join. Try to join, but I don't really know what is causing the poor connection. Try again. Try again. Keep trying and try again, and I see. I don't know why. I'm in school, but feels it's a serious problem. I'm watching in from Uganda. You're watching in from Uganda. Yeah, Corona brought a lot of issues, and of course, yeah, life hasn't been easy, but just know that Corona happened and everyone was affected. Here, so many people lost their jobs. Myself and my family, we had to go through different jobs. My husband tried, I don't know how many times, I think like 4 times to AJ. I'm still trying to add you, and then when I click on add you, it won't work. Very true. Self-employment is the way to go. Yeah, because eventually you cannot rely on being on labor, like giving labor all your life, especially with the way when COVID hit, many people lost their jobs. You haven't saved up anything, then you're just struggling from scratch. So I feel like if we have the potential to save up something and do self employment, like you can go into agriculture, you can start to do poultry, you can do an online business, you can do so much. There's so much potential for everyone in this world. There's so much potential, and before you try, you don't know how much you can do. So I'm thinking of doing something in that line. I'm thinking of doing like online business, but I still, of course, don't know how. Of course, I don't have the finances, but it's just I'm planning. It's a dream, and I know it will come to pass. I don't know when, I don't know how, and I don't know when, but it will definitely come to pass. And eventually, I won't be worried about going to work and stuff like that. And I like staying home and taking care of my family. So that is the reason why I'm thinking if you're self employed and at the same time you're able to take care of your family, for example, how life is in the diaspora, where you have no much help from housemaids or from people around you. If you have your own business, you can run it on your own pace and you don't have to worry so much about coming in late or worrying about getting paid for whatever. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking and praying for God to enable me to be able to be self-employed at one point. Of course, not now, but eventually, yes. Because now I'm still working and trying to make a living. But yeah, that would be my wish. Daniel, yeah, thank you again for joining. So I appreciate you guys for joining me on the chat today. Brenda has gone, but she has shared with us her story and a few of what she thinks can help if you relocate to America. How can one get a fiance online? Elaborate more on that, please. AJ, I don't know if you're my subscriber. Maybe if you're not, click on that subscription button. Then when you go to my videos, scroll through. I think I'll make a playlist. I think I did 2 videos on online dating, and maybe I didn't leave the links. What I can do, I can go back and put the links on the comment section. But there's so many links that you can join. There's one friend of mine that he's called EBM Scholars, and he also has a YouTube channel, and he got his wife online, and he said he used a site called eHarmony. So eHarmony, you can pay per month or maybe 3 months, and then depending on where you are, I think it would be best if you do it when you're abroad. I think eHarmony could be like an American app. So if you pay from here, then you can enjoy. Why not yet on EBMs? I don't know what you mean, but I'm saying we did a video with him, and I posted a video on my channel. It's called Online Dating. So you can look it up, and he mentioned the 3 or 4 websites he used, but eventually he said he used eHarmony. That is the one he used to get his wife, and now he's been married for years. So you can try it out depending on where you are and try your luck. I don't know. I've not done online dating, and I don't know how lucky you can be, but I feel like it's something that is doable, especially if you're abroad. You don't meet so many people physically like it is back home, like in Uganda. You don't really have to be online to get somebody. You always meet people. So yeah, so try it. If you have any questions, you can let me know. And let me see, Daniel saying there's one I know also called Upward. It's a Christian dating site. I know it's legit, but you gotta be in the, yeah, most of these apps, that's the problem. See, if you're not in the States, then you're not able to meet up these people. You're not able to meet up these people to understand them. I'm your subscriber, got to know you from EBM's channel, and I'm from Uganda as well. So are you in Uganda currently? If you're in Uganda, those dating apps may work only if you're planning to travel here. Like, for example, if you're coming to visit and you're already doing the online dating, you can come visit and then meet up with your date and get to know them. It's good to first know somebody. I feel like it's a good thing to know them, meet them up, and get to know who they are before you decide. Kimberly Watson, I responded to you. I said I have posted for anyone that is willing to give you some sort of help. Anyone that is watching, if they can afford to sponsor, they can sponsor. Personally, I cannot afford to sponsor anyone. I'm also just struggling to make a living here. But if anyone is watching and they are willing to sponsor, they'll definitely sponsor. This is why I have the channel, just to show and help people, give them a platform. Most of them will require you to have a USA number for verification. Really? I didn't know that. Okay, so yeah, so most of those apps, you can check them out. You can try and see if you have your luck over there. So guys, I'm about to end this stream so that I can continue and edit one of my videos that I just did. And thank you guys for joining me in today. So I'm going to end the stream in a few minutes and try to edit my videos. Today has been, I thought it would rain, but it didn't rain. That's why my lighting is not very good, because outside the clouds were beginning to get dark. So I thought it was going to rain, but it didn't rain. So it's so confusing. And then yesterday it was so bright, but today it might rain or maybe it will not. So yeah, so what's going on? Daniel, today are you working or you're not working? Sorry, AJ, we lost you. You said you're my subscriber from EBM. Thank you. Thank you so much. And let me see here. So if you haven't watched some of my videos, you can scroll through and see most of my videos that I've done. So thank you guys again for joining me. I'm going to end the stream and I'll see you again in my next video. Yeah, that's the truth, Samuel. Daniel, you're not feeling well. Sorry about that. I hope you feel better. Okay, let me end the live stream. Thank you guys for joining in, and I'll see you in my next video, guys. Love you. Ciao, ciao.